A few months ago, Grandmaster Max Warmerdong took his opponent on a wild ride with a brilliant windmill tactic. Let's break it down. Max, with the white pieces, starts the combination with pawn to d4, sacrificing a pawn to open the dark squared bishop's diagonal. The opponent takes the pawn, and Max castles. The opponent tries pawn to f5, closing the light squared diagonal and threatening Max's knight. Max retreats the knight, eyeing the d4 pawn. The opponent responds with pawn takes c3. But this gives Max the opportunity for bishop takes h6. Max sacrifices his bishop, knowing that if the opponent takes it, queen to g6 will force a draw by repetition. The opponent grabs the pawn on b2, attacking Max's rook. After rook to e1, the opponent plays queen to f6, threatening to capture the bishop. Max counters with bishop to d2, a brilliant retreat that hides a disguised threat. The opponent continues with bishop to d7, and now Max strikes with bishop to c3, moving the bishop to a powerful diagonal. The bishop is undefended, but if the opponent captures it with queen takes c3, Max has knight to g5, threatening queen to h7 checkmate. So, the opponent avoids this, but Max's queen is now under attack. Max finds the move rook to e7, sacrificing his queen and threatening rook takes e7. The opponent has no choice but to take the queen with queen takes h5. Now Max plays rook takes g7, and after king to h8, the windmill begins. Max can now repeat the checks endlessly with the rook and dark squared bishop. Max first plays rook to f7 to force the repetition. After king to h8, Max can either continue the checks or push forward. He could try to win the opponent's queen with rook to g5, but this would equalize the material, so Max plays rook takes d7 instead. In an attempt to hold on, the opponent sacrifices a rook with rook to f6. After bishop takes f6 and king to g8, Max checks again with rook to g7, but now the opponent's rook is gone, and Max's windmill is in full motion. Max, still down a queen, makes his move with knight to g5, threatening knight to e6 check and rook to e7 checkmate, a nearly unstoppable combination. The opponent, desperate, sacrifices the bishop with bishop takes f2, hoping for a counterplay. However, after Max's knight to c5, the opponent's position crumbles. Max clears the path with bishop takes b2, threatening rook takes f5, and there's no defense. The opponent tries queen to e8, but this